Hello Top Teners, I'm Danny Burke and I'm back with another Top 10 video. This is where we take random topics from all over this weird, wonderful world of ours and turn them into a nice little Top 10 list so you don't have to. Okay, before we get into it though, I just want to explain this. I want to say that, it's all good, don't worry, I'm not bleeding. It was for a Halloween costume, so just try to ignore it and just know that I'm fine. I'm good, not real blood. Okay, so we're going to be mentioning a lot of different countries in this Top 10, so I want to know from you guys, if you could go to any other country in the world apart from your own, where would it be? Leave your answers in the comments below. Buildings, they're pretty boring, right? Just bricks, windows, doors. Wrong! This week I'm going to show you the top 10 strangest buildings of all time, and by the end of it you're going to be like, wow Danny, those are some strange buildings. I'm just so glad I watched this. And I'm going to be like, yeah, I knew you'd say that, so I thought I'd do a little impression of you at the start. That's enough mind-blowing for now. Let's get straight into the video at number 10, and it's a Kansas City library. This one is strange. It doesn't even look like a building. It's basically just a massive bookcase, and with a massive bookcase comes massive books. These huge novels measure a whopping 25 feet in height and are 9 feet wide. The 22 volumes of novels include famous titles from To Kill a Mockingbird to Lord of the Rings. The normal size Lord of the Rings took me so long to get through, so God knows how big the words would be on one that size. For number 9, I'm going to turn your world right on its head. It's the Wonderworks Science Museum. The guys who built this weren't satisfied with just one upside down building though. There are 4 versions of it that can be found in America. 2 in Florida, 1 in Tennessee, and 1 in South Carolina. Inside is a museum for kids that features funny and interactive space, physics, and maths exhibits. This is definitely one that's going to confuse archaeologists in thousands of years' time. They're probably going to be like, what the hell are they doing? Were these guys idiots? These are clearly upside down. Yeah, we should probably leave a note explaining it. Moving straight to number 8, we've got the Basket Building. Now there's nothing clever in that name, it's literally a building that's a basket. This started out as just a dream by Dave Longaberger, who is the founder of the Longaberger Company, and construction of the giant basket building was completed in 1997. He didn't just randomly decide on a basket though, the company makes and distributes handcrafted maple wood baskets, and this big basket is the company's headquarters. This is another one that's probably going to confuse archaeologists in the future. I bet they'll wonder how big our groceries were. In at lucky number 7, it's Dynamic Tower in Dubai. Now this building isn't technically built yet, otherwise it would have been a lot higher on the list. It's a rotating building where each floor is designed to rotate a maximum of 6 meters per minute, or 1 full rotation in 90 minutes. The pictures of what it will look like are incredible, but the video is even more amazing. When I found the actual video of this, I went down to the comment section and everyone's just like, how are they gonna do this? I'm not even mocking that because I agree. I have no idea how they're gonna pull this off. I'm pretty excited for it. We've got a house attack for number 6, or at least that's what they call it. The Museum Modernes Kunst in Vienna has a large collection of 20th and 21st century art and looks pretty normal from most angles except this one. Yeah, that's a small family home wedged into the side of it. This was the brainchild of artist Erwin Wurm, who wanted to give people the unnerving sensation of standing under a precariously perched building. Well Erwin, I have to say, you probably found the best way to do that. Props to you. We're halfway through now at number 5, and it's Habitat 67 in Montreal, Canada. Habitat 67 might sound like a video game or apocalyptic movie, but it's actually an amazing spiral cluster of intertwining apartment blocks. The designer is Friedensreich Hunterwasser, and it seems like he wants to make something as interesting as his name. Habitat 67 was completed in 2000, and the name makes me wonder what happened to the previous 66 versions. Maybe the previous 67 versions were them just trying to make a normal building, and this was their best attempt and they just thought whatever, that'll do. I think it's pretty cool either way. Clinching the number 4 spot, we're going over to the UK now for the Eden Project. Now if it wasn't for the English countryside surrounding these buildings, you'd think they belonged on Mars. The Eden Project is made up of a number of artificial biodomes that contain plants and animals from all around the world. They are made of plastic cells supported by steel frames. Inside, they simulate 2 different environments, tropical and Mediterranean. Now this is the only place on the list that I've actually been to, and let me tell you, it's a bit of a shock to step from the English weather into tropical weather inside the biome, and I give you guys warning right now, you probably might not want to leave. For number 3, we're keeping up our trend of buildings that sound like movies or video games with the Atomium. This one doesn't even look like a building, and there's a reason for it. It isn't supposed to. The 335 tall stainless steel structure is meant to represent the unit cell of an iron crystal magnified 165 billion times. It was designed by engineer Andre Waterkane for the 1958 Brussels World's Fair and now acts as a museum. CNN actually named it Europe's most bizarre building, and you can kind of see why. I think conspiracy theorists from the future are going to go wild for this one. It looks pure science fiction. In at number 2, and just missing out on the number 1 spot, it's the wooden gangster building in Russia. At first glance, the strangest thing about this thing is that it's actually standing. I mean, look at it. The place looks like it will come down in a strong wind. Apparently, the gangster who built it, Nikolai Sutyagin, described it as the 8th wonder of the world. Standing at an incredible 144 feet and made entirely of wood, the house was never meant to be this tall. The owner said he began work on it in 1992 as a 2-story house, but was inspired by Japanese and Norwegian log cabins to keep building higher. Some people might say this is amazing and others might say it's just a fire hazard, but either way, I think it deserves the number 2 spot. But that can only mean one thing: we have a winner. In at our number 1 spot, it's Ideal Palace in France. The construction of this thing took 33 years to build, with a total workforce of 1 person. That's right. Ferdinand Cheval, a postman with no formal construction training, built this place over the course of 60 years. It all started when he was 13 years old. Ferdinand would pick up stones on his postal route and collect them. He used the stones to build up his fantastical construction, which he called Ideal Palace. As he got older, he dreamt of ever more complicated parts to the palace, including a Swiss chalet, a mosque, and even a medieval castle. It's honestly one of the most amazing things I've ever seen, made even more amazing by the fact that it came from one man's mind and he built it all with his bare hands. That's why it's our number 1, and hey, if you don't agree with me, you can check the place out yourself. It's open almost any day of the year to all tourists to go and see. Or if you can't do that, let me know what you thought should have been number 1 in the comments below. So that was your top 10 strangest buildings of all time. Let me know what you thought. Did you agree with me? Have you seen some stranger buildings? And also let us know what top 10s you want to see in the future, because we want to do it for you. Anyway, I'm Danny Burke, thanks for watching Top 10, and I'll see you very soon.